What's up, everybody? We back again with another episode of Going Live with the MC. Today, another special guest. You know the rules, man. You know the vibes. Another special guest. This guy we got coming in from the UK. You know, as I told you guys, I got a lot of connects out in the UK. Got a lot of friends. You know, good people out there. So, this is definitely someone that I wanted to bring on and, you know, share my platform with. So, a little bit about this guy. His name is RVJ Wordplay. He is a poet based in London, UK. And this guy has a very interesting story to share. So we're going to get this guy online real soon. And we're going to enjoy a nice little conversation. We're going to drop some gems. And we're going to share this game with you, you know. So tap in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit the question mark at the bottom, in the bottom right section, and you can ask whatever questions. Me and RVJ will be happy to answer them. So without further ado, let me welcome in my guest and we'll get this started. See if we can get him in here. Is he in here? Um, let's try again. Yeah, just click the invite whenever you get the chance. There you go.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Well going.
What's up, man? Everything is good, man. How you feeling today?
Yeah, not bad, you know. I was just
Let's
trying
get that.
to cool. Yeah. What you saying? Everything good?
Everything is good, man. You fresh off of work?
Yeah, literally like I jumped in like 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that, man. Well, thank you for making the time, man, to be here for sure.
Yeah, man. No problem. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. I see you rocking the merch,
Yeah,
man, for sure.
I had to
Gotta represent.
I had to go
Yeah,
get that and put that on right away as soon as I jumped in, you get me? They got to know, you get
yeah,
me?
yeah. That's a fire piece. How many pieces you got? Is it just the hat, or you got more
No,
stuff?
just the hat, you know. So basically my dad got this for me on my birthday like 2 years ago, and I thought it sort of gave me an idea. So I said people been asking, but I said I won't do any merch until I got the website up, which is under construction. So I just want to make sure
Okay.
everything is up and running so people can just have one central point for everything: merch,
Exactly.
music, contacts,
Yep.
everything.
That's the way to do that. So,
Mm.
where did that mindset come from? Like, what drove you to think like that?
Well, I guess it's just the demand, really. It's really the demand for as it relates to my poetry and the things I do and the way I do things. I thought to myself, all right, if I can have everything, because I do a lot of things, but it's not really. I'm the central point, I'm the focal point, but I'm not everywhere all the time, if that makes sense. So sometimes people want to get in touch or get some information or find out. Or they may even see me and want to have a conversation with me, but I'm having a conversation with someone or they're having a and it just doesn't happen. So I thought to myself, you know what? Let me just sort of get this thing up and running in a way where it can not only look professional, but everyone can go one place and find everything they need as far as the poetry side of Rare is concerned, if that makes sense.
Right. I got you definitely. Well, yeah, it's always important to have that one-stop shop. You know, people can go.
Mm.
It's easy access. You know, and I feel like a lot of people they want that spoon-fed treatment when it comes to like having access to you.
Yeah,
You feel me? They want
yeah,
to be able to. Yeah, you feel me? Just here's the link right here, the Holy Grail. You know, just get whatever you need from that.
you get
Um,
me?
Yeah. It's a weird thing, but it's also I enjoy the direct approach of it.
Hmm.
You know, like just being able to connect with people up front. Um,
I
so
think,
that segues into the next thing. You're a pretty open poet. You know, for those of you that don't know, RVJ is a poet. Um, you are very vulnerable with your pieces, and I feel like that's what makes you a very likable person.
yeah.
Like from what I've experienced at these events, you know, a lot of people gravitate towards you because of your work, you know, and so what would you say is like your key component to like sharing the stories that you share? Because, you know, I got a few of them that I want to talk about, but
Mm,
like you touch on things that people wouldn't normally speak on, and I think that's dope because, you know, I go to a lot of poetry events and everyone's talking about the same thing. You know, it's either like a political issue, it's like a social construct or something like that, you know, and you stay within those means, but you talk about your own at your own
mhm.
pace. It's not what everyone else is talking about.
Um, well, that from a young age, from a very young age, I've always been an observant
Mm-hmm.
individual. Always, people normally say I'm quiet. Like growing up, people said I was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't, and I mean, there was some truth in that. But the reason for that is because if I step in a room, you won't hear anything from me because I'm observing. I want to know how to move in that room with the people that are in, or the elements that are in that room. So if I'm observing and I'm seeing what's going on, who is moving which way, what way, I can first of all, first and foremost, I can avoid a lot of unnecessaries. Um, Especially because I grew up in Jamaica. I left there when I was 17. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can move the right way and be street smart, you can avoid a lot of unnecessary things, which it doesn't matter how much you think you might end up on top. There's that like
Mm-hmm.
my grandfather, my grandparents, my well, most of my family always say to me, there's no matter how much you think you're bad, there's always a better man out there than you. You
That's a fact.
understand?
That's a fact.
So in order for me to avoid certain things and just keep myself out of certain situations from that aspect, very observant. And then through just doing that repetitively, I realized there were a lot of conversations being had, but like you said earlier, they were all the same conversations. And it always seemed to just be going around in a circle, whereas the parts of the conversation that are necessary are a necessary piece of the puzzle in order to come to some sort of conclusion or suggestion or way of moving forward is always being ignored. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
write on. That's what I touch on. Those are that's the step I take when I'm expressing. Just speaking on the things that should be a part of the conversation,
Right.
but aren't a part of the conversation for whatever reason, whether it's a difficult conversation to be had, whether they don't know how to approach it. But yeah, that's just my approach. Observe what is being ignored and highlight it.
I feel that 100%.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, it's always important to share what you like, you know, because I realize a lot of times when I'm at events, you know, people always saying, damn, what's the crowd gonna be like? I wonder if they're gonna like this, or, you know, like, should I
yeah.
talk about this type of stuff? And it's like, bro, it's your art, it's your pain, it's whatever you want to talk about, you know? Like, if people don't
Mm,
like it, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately. But if you want people to like what you're doing, you gotta do what you
I'm
want to do.
believing that. I'm believing that.
100%.
Um,
100%.
because I realize as well that there's always. So my thing is, if I go to an event and I perform, if there's one person that benefits from that performance, then I'm good because it's not going to be every time you perform the whole room is going to be moved by it. Sometimes what you are giving is not for them
Right.
to take on board, and you have to be good with that. You understand? And there will always be that one person out there as well that sat in the crowd and has received something but won't necessarily come and say anything to you. You
Right.
understand? They won't even give you a follow or they won't even go and listen to any more of your work. It's just that in that moment, what was being said was for them.
Yep.
And be grateful for that because that's why you're there to share. If it's for them, they'll take it. If it's not, hopefully they just let it go and let it be.
Right. That's a
Mm.
fact. Um, hmm. Damn, and you definitely came with the smoke on your answers, man. I like that.
Yeah, man.
And
It's I just we live it daily in it, so we just speak it as it is, fam.
yeah, facts. You know, I always, you know, I'm very meticulous when it comes to picking who I want on the platform.
Mm.
I get a lot of people requesting to be on a platform. I don't choose anyone that makes the request.
Yeah,
So, yeah, everything is literally just based off of interest. Like, yo, I feel like this person's interested. I'm gonna have them on the platform.
I love that. I can relate to that. I can relate to that in a lot of ways. So yeah, respect for that still.
Yeah, man. And it's just you have to, man. When you creating something that's a movement, you want to make sure the right people are moving with you.
100%.
Right, right. So yeah, you have. Is it only two children, two daughters?
Yeah, yeah, two girls. Yeah, I got two girls.
Okay, okay. And they both same baby mother?
I knew I knew where that was going. I knew that one. Yeah, yeah, same mom, same mom.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Yeah.
I will agree that that is probably got to be one of the most annoyingest questions ever. And I understand why some people may ask it,
Mm,
as you were
mm.
explaining in your poem, it may be a harmless question, but the effect, like the weight that you have to carry when you answer that question. So let's talk about that poem, man. Like obviously we know
Hey,
what inspired it, but like, like how does that actually make you feel? Like,
um, so yeah, like the whole reason why that poem came about was because of the question. And when a question is an innocent question or when it's loaded,
right,
we aren't
right,
stupid. We aren't stupid as people. We know, innit? Um,
100%.
and well, that is just a snippet of the poem. The poem is actually longer. I just thought, let me just do a 1 minute thing and
Right.
just see, because I performed it recently. And
Hmm.
I remember coming off stage. I sat beside this female and she was like, people really ask you that. But she was so surprised that that's even a question. And I'm like, yeah, for real. And she was like, but why? And I was like, well, I mean, the stigma. I mean, who knows? I can't answer that question. I remember saying to her, you have to ask the ones who are asking that question. No, the reason that poem came about, like I said, what, if a question is loaded or if it's just a genuine question, an innocent question. Because 9 times out of 10, when I'm being asked, all right. So, for example, if I've just met you, right?
Hmm.
Specifically females, but males do it as well. Don't get me wrong, but it's specifically or the majority is female. If I've just met you and within, I don't know, I don't even have to put a time on it, but we are literally strangers still because we've just met,
Right, right,
and that is a question that's asked, right? If it's asked innocently, I don't know. If it's asked with the stigma that, oh, you're a black man or you're a Jamaican, and these are things that I'm making up or saying. These are things that people have said to me,
right,
right? Jamaican man don't normally have one baby mom, or Jamaican men or women as a gallus, whatever, or you're from Jamaica or you're a black man. So you know what I
right,
mean? So the line the conversation is taking, or even sometimes it's also the facial expression. When I do say, yeah, my children's got the same mom, the surprise or the disbelief, or sometimes are you joking, right? Or are you being serious?
right,
Whereas, it should just be then, oh, all right, and let the conversation flow naturally. So I started thinking about it. I was like, why is this happening so regularly? Like, why is this? Why is it such a surprise when I know for a fact, that whether a man's out there and he's got one baby mother, a wife, whatever the case may be, or multiple, I know that there are good fathers out there
right.
doing what they need to do. However, that's not being highlighted. However, we tend to focus on the negative side of things. So I
Hmm.
say, you know what? Let me just use my one of my gifts, which is writing, to highlight something that needs to be consciously, like a conscious effort needs to be taken as far as the way people perceive a certain type of male. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Especially a black man, who is Jamaican, you know, that has the same mother for his two daughters.
Right.
No, no, there's a part in the poem. I will eventually release the full poem, but there's a part in the poem that says, "So what if my daughters have two mothers? Can I not love again? If the
Right,
relationship I have has sunk to the bottom of love ocean, can I not find love again and decide to bless that relation if it's something that she also wants happen?" Like they
right,
always think it's a negative thing when you have more than one, but there are multiple reasons, you know what I mean? And I just don't think, I think it's again, like I say, if you're a stranger and you're asking that with an ulterior motive, then you deserve to be shut down. But instead of being that guy, the younger version of me would just shut you down. Let me just package it in a poem and present the question to you and see how you answer that or react to it.
right, for sure. And I think it's always important to have an open mind when you're necessarily intruding on someone's peace because you don't know if they're even ready to answer questions like that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
For real.
so yeah, like I feel like a lot of people really don't think about that,
Mm,
you know. So a lot of times I would assume it's just malice behind it, you know, they're just really trying to place the stigma on the person, you know, and like you said, it's to be an anomaly, to be, you know, one of the small handful,
mm.
you know, actually doing what you got to do, like the disbelief, like, oh shit, it does exist, like, you know,
Like
like
it's a discovery or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone got the unicorn mentality, man. Everybody. So,
Real.
um, you know, I actually want to talk on race, and there's a few things that inspired me to speak on this, actually.
Mm,
Um, so, for one, I've been to London a few times, quite a few times, um, and it's quite diverse out there,
mm-hmm.
very diverse. It took me a while to find the black people, though. I will say that. Um, I will say that. But you know, ever since I found out where my
Mm,
people's at, I ain't never left.
yeah, yeah, for real. I can attest to
But
that still.
but I realized that you know it's more open to interracial dating. However,
Mm,
there's still the slight um disgust towards it. You know, especially when it involves a black person. And speaking from experience, you
mm,
know, I've dated, you know, a few times out there, you know, outside of my
yeah,
race, you know, and this was just me being young and curious, you know, just saying, hey, there's no harm in dating someone, you know, if I find interest in them,
yeah.
you know, and you know, that's how I was raised. You know, my uncles were, you know, dating white women and stuff like that. I don't think I'll ever go that deep into it, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, you know, like just the curiosity of it, you know, just diving into different cultures, wanting to learn, you know, how other people live and they're raised and stuff like that. Um, so what made you choose London? Like, I mean, I don't know if you had a choice, but you know, like, how did you actually end up in
End up
London?
in London.
Because, yeah.
Mm, well, so well, it was my mom. So my mom came to England like what, 2002.
Hmm.
I think it was a familiarity in it because my aunt was living here, so I think sort of late 80s, early 90s. Then she moved back to Jamaica. And I had, or we, she had her sister who was been living here from young. So she
Hmm.
came here for a few years, then she came back to Jamaica. So, and then my mom came to England
Hmm.
and yeah, brought me over into, so she came in 2000, I came 2002. The whole aim was to sort of go to university. So the information technology. So yeah, my mom who
Oh, so
brought me here.
you wanted to go?
I wanted to go, but if given a choice, I would have preferred to go to United States as opposed to England,
Mm.
simply because there is a lot more familiarity in terms of Jamaica, proximity, culture, just everything. Right?
Right.
It's more heavily influenced by the American culture. So if given a choice, I would have preferred to gone there, which my cousin who I grew up with lives in New York. That's where I was in August.
Right.
So he's there, but his dad lives there and his dad brought him over. So yeah, if given a choice, I would have preferred United States. But yeah, my mom said come over and I'm like, all right, cool. It's the best option right now. So let me just come and see what I go on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked that because I was watching. Sometimes I go down rabbit holes. It could
Mm,
be anything. You know, it could be anything.
yeah.
So yesterday I was watching a bunch of I don't know if you know who Drewski is. He's like a comedian. Um, yeah, and he does like these auditions. Cash Money Records.
Mm-hmm.
So he does like could have been records. So it's almost I want to say like making the band slash American Idol where he has like people trying out, for their talents.
Right.
And it's almost like a mixture. Like you can tell that it's like half skit, half genuine. Like some of the
Mm-hmm.
people, like so I've actually spotted a few people in these videos that I know.
Right.
Specifically in the London episode and the New York episode. I've seen people that I know. I don't know if I sent you the link, but I sent like maybe a few people the link yesterday, and I was like, "Yo, do y'all recognize anybody from this?"
No, I didn't
But
get it, man.
um, point in case is, Drewski started asking because it was like a few white kids that came out, and I think there was this one Arab kid that came out, or I think that was the New York one. I'm not sure, but anyways, there was a few white people came out, specifically an albino white Jamaican dude,
Mm.
and the dude was just like. He was just like questioning, like, yo, like, where all these Jamaicans in London coming from? So, segueing back into the question,
Mm.
um, what is that like being out there? Like, are people like questioning, like, because out there, this is my take on it before you answer that.
Yeah.
I feel like British language derives from patois. Like, it's like they're taking that and incorporate it as their language, but
Mm-hmm.
we know where it originates from.
All
So,
right.
yeah, like, how has it been living out there? Like, what do you deal with? Like,
So interesting question because it's sort of it's multidimensional. So let me answer the first part as far as Jamaicans being in England is concerned. Yeah, that's from way back. We talk about Windrush. When they brought just different nationalities over to help with just rebuilding
mhm,
this country. So a lot of, and as you rightly said, a lot of things are heavily influenced by the very small island of Jamaica. Small in size, but not in influence,
mhm,
especially language. So obviously, you don't know the Jamaican language is a mixture of a lot of things. Twi, for example, is one of the main language that Patois derives from,
mhm,
and obviously we take keywords from that language and we add our own to it and it evolves, and then you come to England where you have now people having children and they're listening to their parents who come from Jamaica and then their grandparents,
mhm.
and they take parts of that language or style of speech and they
Right.
add their thing to it and it keeps evolving. So yeah, definitely a lot of what is a lot of slangs, a lot of dialect is derived from the Jamaican patois, as well as you will find, people from you got Nigerians that sort of take from their language. So people who've come from Nigeria and their children were born here, it evolves. So it's a never ending evolution where people take things and derive from. So and that's fine and that's all good. The issue I have, so you say, how do I find it? So the
Yeah.
issue I have at times is when people don't acknowledge. So I said when people don't acknowledge what they have taken from. Now it's all good and well. If you don't want to, I'm not forcing you to.
Right.
But then the issue is it being forced on me. So vice versa. So you don't want me to sort of be involved or in the conversation or educate or correct in a lot of instances. Because like me, I say, I
Mhm,
wasn't born here. I was born in Jamaica. So may I say,
mhm.
I'm going to go home every year. So up until I came here in 2002, I flew out for the first time in 2004. I went to Jamaica every year up until 2009. Then I took like 2 years, went to St. Lucia 2012. Then I start going back to Jamaica every year. So like, and I live, that's the culture I live every day. You understand?
Right.
So
Right.
when I've got people who are trying to tell me something, And I'm like, no, but that's not how it is. This is the original. That's how we started. This is the way it is.
Right.
And they're telling me no. I just step back and leave it because I know where it's gonna go. I know where it's
Right.
gonna go in it. Because first and foremost, I'm gonna play with my culture.
Right.
Yeah, man, I don't because it's what made me the man who I am, and everything that I am
As
is
you shouldn't.
foundation is Jamaican.
That's
You
a
understand
fact.
what I
Stand
say?
on that.
So I don't play with my culture, and like me, I say it will evolve, and I have to allow that. You understand? Because like I say, I've got children. One is 18, one is 16. They will have their own version of what they have experienced or how they understand the culture,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not gonna try and tell me how it is. They're willing to have a conversation. You have some people who want to have a conversation, whether it's Jamaican, whether it's Nigerian, whether it's Ghanaian. You have some people who's never been, but they don't want to listen. So how are you going to learn?
Right.
Is the question. So yeah, that can be frustrating at times. You get me?
No, 100% for real. And it, again, like for me, discovering that that community out there,
Mm.
it lit like a whole flame under me because I was like, I didn't know that there was any black people in London,
Bro,
like I don't know
a
about
lot,
anywhere
fam.
else in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else in the UK. Like even when I went to Ireland, I was in
Mm.
Dublin. Like by the grace, like I just happened to turn my head. I swear if I didn't turn my head, I would have missed them. But I like,
I
seriously,
hear it.
that's how scarce it was,
Yeah, I hear it.
like so just being out there and just discovering, the community is just like, yo, it's been really dope. And I feel like you guys give the life to the UK that they don't have. Like
Mm.
it's wild to say this, someone that doesn't live there on a daily basis, but I
Mm.
see it. It's like the people that were actually born and raised there, like they don't really have much to live for, It's like everything is like dull, like the weather in a sense. And it's like you
I,
guys are there, you give it the spice and like from everything, from the clothing to the food to the parties,
I
I
hear
see
it.
it
I hear
around.
it. I hear it.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things where, like I said, I've always said this. I've always said this. And again, it's a poem that I have, and it's something that I've always struggled with. So I come to England. I arrived in England thinking, raw, all right, I'm in a place where it's different from where I'm from, and a lot more opportunities are here.
Mm,
And people who were born here know the ins and outs. You see what I say? It can
mm-hmm.
be such a beautiful thing where two cultures are now coming together, and we can say, all right, man, I come from yard. You don't know our style is very, very loud and different, flamboyant, right? All right, you're
Right.
here. You're in a system that has so many different opportunities in terms of getting things done.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Jamaica, it might not be as easy, but it can still be done. It's easy over here with the amount of avenues. Let us just do this
Right.
thing together. So, may I say, and just set a foundation because if you collaborate, I'm bringing something in that you haven't got. You're bringing something in that I haven't got. It's a
Mm-hmm.
stronger, it's a stronger bond. It's a stronger foundation. But brother, yeah, I found that yeah, your own sort of segregate you at times because you know what they think, and I don't know why this is. They think
Mm-hmm.
you haven't got the necessary skill set. You know what I mean? To get certain things done. I mean, I said, just think about it. I'm saying you're not thinking about not everyone, but you're not thinking about it logically because how many people can uproot and move to another country and
Mm-hmm.
exist and survive and make it there? That means that person has
Mm-hmm.
something unique about them. You would want to
Mm-hmm.
tap into that.
100%.
You'd want to. You think you'd want to tap into. Well, I would.
Right.
But nah,
Right.
it's mad and it's frustrating
Yeah.
because like I say, I'm for my people. Like I say, I'm for my Jamaican people. For my black culture, my Jamaican, my black people. Like we have so much to offer from different
Mhm.
parts of the world, brother. All we have to do is just come together and deal with the thing the right way. But a lot of people don't are not on that, and it's sad, but it's the reality of things.
I feel that. So for the record, you would never date outside your race.
Who me? I've
Yeah.
never tried it. I've never tried it. I'm not saying I wouldn't dare out, but I've never been in the position, to be honest. I've
Okay.
never been in the
Okay.
position to date outside because, like I said, when I left Jamaica at 17, yeah, I pretty much came here, and then I lived in Germany for like 4 years.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, I was in Germany for like 4 years, but then I was in a relationship over there with someone from well, yeah, I was in a relationship there, and then when I came back to UK, yeah, it's just been a long term relationship. So I've never really had the opportunity to do that. You get me,
There's a small Jamaican community in Germany as well too.
bro?
Yeah.
It's not. I can't. It's not
'Cause-
small. And
you know what?
remember,
You know what? I went there during the lockdown, so I didn't really get to experience. I was there for like 3 weeks, but
mm,
I didn't really get to experience much in Germany. Yeah.
bro, I can tell you no. Like I said, you see the culture over here. It's a big group of people. Germany. So I was in Germany. What 2004 to 2006, 2007. The
Hmm.
first. So there's this event called Summer Jam that's held in Cologne every summer. I think I went there in 2005. Right.
Is it the hip
And
hop summer jam?
no, it's
Oh, okay,
over
okay.
three. It's over a weekend. So it's like from the Friday to the Sunday. Right.
All right.
And so they have dancehall day, them have a reggae day, them have different
Got it.
different genre. Brother, I went there in 2005. No, remember this is 2005.
All right.
2004, 2005. And I remember they had the main stage. I think Luciana was performing. I think Beatman was there. Sizzler, a few big names, which obviously big
Right.
names. But they had different tents. So they had different tents. It's like a festival. They had
Right.
different
Right.
tents with different sound systems set up. So the tents were pack up people, and the sound system was at the front
Hmm.
with the selector or disc jack. And I remember hearing the person speak patois, like they were talking Jamaican patois. And I'm like, yo, I
Hmm.
wonder which sound is like. I'm trying to gravitate closer because it's full of Germans, like a
Right.
majority of white people, but obviously our black people come flying from all over. So I'm like, which DJ this, which this jack this. So as I'm going closer to the selector, the front,
Hmm.
would you believe it was a Japanese sound system speaking Jamaica like it's me and my brother talk. And then, bro, I was, when someone has seen a ghost, that's how I stood in the
Yeah.
middle of the crowd, just
I can
shocked.
imagine.
And then I can't remember the name of the sound system. And then they had a sound system from Holland. Come on, same
Hmm.
program. They were not speaking anything apart from Part One. That's when I realized how much of an influence where I am from is. This is in the middle of Germany, fam, and all the sound system that came up were playing dub plates of reggae, ska, dancehall, revival, and they weren't speaking their language or with their accent. They were
Hmm.
speaking as though they were born in Jamaica. It shocked me, fam. I
Yeah.
was so surprised.
That's got to be a crazy experience, man. For real. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mad.
no, I mean, hey, I may visit there once again. I still do have a friend out there. Yeah, he's a good dude. You know, he reaches out to me here and there. He came off a little scary when I first met him.
Mm.
He's into that life. So
Yeah.
there were some of
I
his
hear it.
tactics that kind of like made me a little nervous. Because first off, I'm in a whole other
Yeah,
country. Then I'm
yeah.
around someone I don't know
No.
who claims to be cool. But then he's like the way like I've seen him do things. Just like
Yeah,
yeah.
you
But
gotta
no,
check.
he's
You gotta
actually been
check
cool.
it.
Yeah, but no, he's actually been cool. Like he
Mm,
made sure that while I was out there, he took me to some good food spots, showed me some good places to eat. You know, one of his boys threw a birthday party out there. He made sure that I was cool at the whole time at the event.
yeah.
He made sure I was good, out there. Like, he wasn't trying to like, take advantage or anything like that. So, he's a good dude for sure, for sure. And he still reaches out to this day. I haven't been out there in like 4 years, 3 years maybe. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's good people around, and I like that
Mm.
about the world. No matter where you go, you're always gonna find someone who's,
Yeah, man, 100%.
your people that's gonna look out for you. Yeah, yeah. All right, so moving on.
Mm.
Uh, Another poem I wanted to talk about, one of your most recent pieces, Patterns, featuring Millie Rose.
Oh yeah.
First off, I like, I don't know how long you've been doing it. Maybe I'm late to the party.
Mm.
But I like that you've been adding the music behind your poetry now. It adds more of an intimate feel, you know.
Mm.
So, what inspired this piece right here?
Yeah, you're late to the party because the first before I answer that, my first album, which was in 2022 February,
Mm,
and I started properly in 2021, so
mm,
July. So my first album has got 12 tracks on it, 11 of which
mm,
I've got instrumentals behind it. Um,
mm,
and the next EP off my first single before that is a poem called The Cheer. It's got an instrumental behind it. My next EP, 3 tracks instrumental. You know, and the other 2 EPs was 6 and 5 instrumental. So music and poetry for me. So poetry in itself, if you can package what you have to say and deliver it,
mm,
people receive it. Music, if you can find the right instruments to accompany the words that you're trying to deliver at the time, again, it just levels it up just so
right.
much more because it's sort the music allows you to be more open to the words. I think that's my opinion. That's what when I'm listening to it, that's how I feel. If it's if it's rapping, if it's singing, I'm hearing the words, but the music is doing something else
Mm-hmm.
on a almost a subconscious level. You know what I mean? To allow the words to just saturate a little bit easier. So yeah, I've always
Right.
been doing that. And then with patterns, I heard Millie for the first time. I heard her perform for the first time, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, this right here is just raw talent. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna try and work with her. That's literally it. Um, and then when we eventually I linked up with Pablo, who is the producer that I've worked with since day one. Worked with
Mm,
others, but he's the main producer. He's produced everything for me so far.
right.
Um, we eventually linked up at the studio last December,
Mm-hmm.
and it was crazy, fam. It just I had a poem, she had an idea of the poem. When I no, he sent us in 2 instrumentals, 3 instrumentals, and there were two of the instrumentals that were like, and I was like, yo, cool. At the time, it was just me and her in the studio, and we
Mm-hmm.
select two of the instrumentals. Like, all right, we like those two. And yeah, the long and short of it is, we did 2 tracks.
Mm,
So one of which we even forgot about because after we released that one the other day, I was like, she was like, yeah, we need to try and work together again. And it's when she said that I remember that we had another track, and I sent it to her. And she's like, oh, I forgot it.
right.
So it was just organic in the sense that it just happened. It's hard to explain those ones, but those ones are the best ones when
Mm,
we literally just decided we're going to work together, and everything just fall in place organically, fam. It's so it
that's the
and when you're
best
working with
part.
somebody like that, it makes your life just easier.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Yep. Yep. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So is this the first time you've done a collab on your work?
Nah. So all right.
Oh,
So
I ain't
closing
even peep.
doors.
You had the Team Reef shirt on. That's
Oh,
dope.
you
I
didn't
was looking at that.
realize?
Yeah, I can't see because it cuts us off at the
Oh,
bottom
we cut.
half. Yeah,
No,
so
fam. It's let the
ah,
people them know what going.
let's go. Appreciate that. Appreciate
The
that,
people
man.
them
That's
know
dope.
what going. So no, the first album I had 4 collabs. Well, and I'll explain. Well, I had one singer, a poet. So Jay Luton, big up Jay.
Mhm.
Then I had Salient Voice on one. The one with
Right. Okay.
Salient Voice is Silence Part 1 and Part 2 because it was just so dope and so long we had to cut it into. So it's Part 1 and Part 2. And then
Nice.
I had a brethren called Space,
Mm,
Space 2. You
mm.
might know Space. He's rapping on one.
I
So
probably do.
yeah,
Probably do.
Space. You know Space. I'm sure you do. So I had three. So those three, and then I had Laverne, which is Freeway Pablo's cousin, just do like some background vocals on one of the other tracks I have.
Mm,
So that was the first album. The first EP, I didn't have any collabs. But then now the third project, which is the second EP, I've got Sad Girl Winter.
mm. Yeah,
You
she's
know
dope.
Sad Girl,
She's
yeah.
dope. Yeah, she's dope.
I've got J Cage.
I
I've
think
got
I know who that is. Yeah, I know who that
Yeah,
is.
you
Yep.
know J Cage.
Yep.
You know J Cage. And then I've got a guy called Ronnie. I don't think you would know Ronnie
Nah,
because he's been quiet
I
for a while. But yeah, so J Cage and Ronnie's rapping. Sad Girl is doing poetry and singing. I feel like I'm leaving someone out on that one, but I can't remember. And then on the last EP, I've got what have I got on the last EP? So I'm just trying to think now. Oh, I missed one from that one. I've got no Mad
Mm.
Singer, Mad Singer. We do a track together called Selfish, bro. Again, just
Mm.
raw talent, fam. I heard her
That's
perform. So
dope.
she came on the scene as a poet and kept it quiet that she was a singer in it. And then I stumbled on a
Right.
video of her, and I was like,
It's
yo,
always
we
the
got
ones. It's
like yo.
always the ones.
Yo, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. So yeah, she was more than happy to do that. So yeah, I've got four. I've got four on that one,
Mm.
and then I've got Bloom, which was my latest EP. That one hasn't got any collabs on it. Well, yeah, I'm
Okay.
always collabing with people. I think I've got like 7 or 8 collabs so far over, and then I've got a few duets, as we call them in the scene, where
Mm.
I've written and performed with people. I did one last Friday at Popular Union. So yo, like I said,
Right.
collaboration is a thing that I am big on because, like I said, I can learn from someone, someone can learn from me, and people come
100%.
together, and it's just a stronger unit, isn't it?
100%. Um, so honestly, all right, so I met you in 2022. So
Mm,
yeah, I definitely haven't checked out the EPs. I need to tap in with that part again. Yeah, because I make it my business that every time I meet someone like in a creative space, I try to check out their work as much as
mm,
possible. It gives me ideas. I mean, but the only difference between you and I, which helped us get to work together, is that I've been at events with you in real time. So,
yeah, yeah.
I got to see you put in work a lot. So it was a no-brainer for me. I think moving forward, when the time comes again, I'll definitely throw some music at you, see what we could do with that.
Yeah, fam. Yeah, yeah. It's I've got like so I did the tally the other day and I've got
Mhm.
like 30 poems available to stream. So it's quite a few. So take your time and go through. But a lot of people don't know because like I said, I'm getting better at the market well, the promoting side
Mhm.
of things, which is part of the reason why I'm doing the website. But I'm just the type of guy where, brother, if if you know innit? And if you don't
Mhm.
know, you will eventually find out. That's just how I look at it because the work
100%.
will never stop as far as I'm concerned. As
Right.
far as there's life in this body, the work will never stop. And if I'm putting work out there and people eventually find out about me, if they're
Mhm.
interested, they'll eventually go and look and have a listen. And then they'll be like, oh, snap, man's been putting in work. Oh, that's why he's able to do what he's doing now at the level at which he's doing it.
Right.
Because he's been putting in work. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the format that I have adopted. Whereas I will touch stage and I'll
Mhm.
give it 100, and if I don't give it 100, if I've got a quote unquote off day where I've had a bad day, best believe I'm going home to look at that and correct that. It's not a thing
Right.
where I'm sat in the corner sulking. No, because I actually love performing live. You get me? So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
if I
Right.
touch stage, just know that yeah, man's you're gonna remember my performance because I'm working in it
That's
and
a
having
fact.
fun.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you battle like an age complex with being creative? Like, do you feel like you like there's a limit that you have to be successful, or like a
Mm.
time limit, so to speak?
No, I'm just no. I don't think so because it that in itself is wild that people think that, and I can understand why people would. But
Hmm.
personally, I don't have that issue for a number of reasons. The main one being is I say this all the time, like my culture, my Jamaican culture, we're very competitive. Whether it's friendly or whether it's on job. Like competition is something that we are born and bred into. And
Right.
it allows us to be good at a lot of things that we do or things that we others tell us that we won't be good at. So like I
Yep.
say, if I am able to do it, then I am going to do it at the best of my ability, and the rewards
Right.
will come in whatever capacity. So that's not something that I struggle with. And when I talk about competition, like if I am in a room of people who have seen, done great stuff, and I have the opportunity to go and perform in the same space with them, best believe that that is motivation.
Right.
I might not be talking about it, but inside I'm thinking, yo, all right, my girl is good at what she does, you know, and I've got the opportunity to be in the same stage with her. The brother there, him good at what him do, and I've got the opportunity to go on stage and represent. I'm not worrying about what they're gonna do. I'm
Right.
focused on what RVJ can do because I'm the only one who can do what I do. They're the only
Right.
one who can do what they do. So all I've got to do is go up on stage and put my best foot forward, and everything else will follow.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Um, that was just a random throw out question.
Mm,
And yeah, people, it's weird, that people do worry about that. I think in the last 2 years,
mm-hmm,
I've met people older than me who are, still so-called in the beginning stages, who are still
mm,
just getting their feet wet, or, who are just still in environments that they probably, timed out a long time ago.
mm,
And there's a difference between like aging out of your profession and timing out of a setting. So speaking, like for example, last night, I was invited to perform with a friend on stage. Granted, I would do it 10 times over again, but I would never do it again in a showcase setting. So basically, it was in a showcase setting, and obviously, there's like with showcases, it's more money
mm-hmm.
based than it is, artist based.
Right,
So yeah, we didn't ultimately, get to deliver the impact that we knew we could deliver, simply because they threw us up last. We was the last group to
right.
go up and perform. So yeah, the impact fell flat.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a great time nonetheless performing for each other. But it was like if we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do that, we could have just put on a
Was
friends
that?
concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I
So
hear it.
like I see a lot of these older people, 40s, even now in their 30s, like it's weird, like meeting certain artists, and then like I be thinking they're around the same age as me until they be like, oh yeah, well I'm like 39, I'm
Mm.
like 45, or and I'm like, whoa,
Like me,
and it's
innit?
like, I mean,
How old do you think I am?
I
Take
would
a guess.
say, I would say you're like 40 flat. If not, you're like in your last. I would say like
No,
maybe
that's
37 to 40.
no, that's right. That's right. If I'll be 41 next. Are we November? Yeah, in December
Mm.
I'll be 41.
Oh wow,
I'll be
wow,
40. Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
In
but
December I'll be
I,
41.
I only say that because of the grades. But
At the
other than
grade.
that, like you definitely
When I
you
cut
definitely
this
look.
off,
Nah, that's what I'm saying. You look young otherwise. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like you could definitely easily pass for like your early mid 30s. For sure.
Mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. People normally get it when I cut. So I used to cut my beard off every when on my birthday, and
Mm,
people were like, "Yeah, you're not that age," but yeah, it's a thing where, and you know what? It's crazy because I just think, especially when it comes down to age and creativity or being where you want to be, so on and so forth. A lot of the times people reset or start over mindset
hmm.
wise because
Yes.
they're thinking about the negative aspect. After all the work that they've done, and all the experience that they have, they allow the setback or the negative thoughts or the negative
Mhm.
voices to allow to undo everything that they've done so far,
Yep.
and they start over. And I think that's just one of the things that a lot of people struggle with. I've seen it with my friends who are not even as old as me, but and they're good, but
Hmm.
simply because they allow, yeah, as human beings, we tend to hold on to the negative for
Yep.
way too long,
Yep.
and there are good things happening alongside these things, but we ignore that, which are the things that will motivate you and encourage you and inspire you and make you go out there and do the best that you can. But we ignore
Hmm.
them, we ignore them, we ignore them, and it allows people to just forget what they've done, and they always resetting and starting over. So that's why the frustration comes, I think.
Right. So it, in my honest opinion, I feel like the wisdom we gain through life breeds the vulnerability that we spoke about earlier.
Okay.
Um, so is that where you would say your poem Brave Face came from? Like was that like your wisdom clashing with your vulnerability? Because that
was a very that's
Mm,
a I haven't even heard the full thing yet, but from the pieces you posted on that, I'm like, yo, this
mm.
is tough.
That's an interesting take on it, you know. Yeah, wisdom and volume. Yeah, that you could, yeah, to some extent, definitely, because it's 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 a method that I've used up until that point, or writing that poem. Yeah, the brave face. I never used to back from anything, regardless
Mm,
of how I'm feeling about it. I
right.
never used to back from anything up until about, I'd say maybe 32, 33. Brother,
Mm,
if it's whatever, wherever, whenever, I'm doing it.
right.
And then I sort of came out of, or stepped away from, I guess I could say, a certain lifestyle, and it was not negative. It was just
Right.
that the job that so basically I was in the, so when I came here, I
Hmm.
joined the military. I joined the military shortly after, innit?
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I was in the British Army. I did 6.5 years,
Wow.
and coming from Jamaica again. Like I
Mm,
never used to them from Jamaica. I never really used to back from anything. I thought that the
mm,
military just reinforced that, and it's like Super Saiyan type of thing, if
right.
that makes sense,
Right.
innit?
Right.
So yeah, it was that. But then after I left the military and then came into the real world, because yeah, it's a different world in the military from civilian life.
Right.
After a couple of years, I realized that the sort of way, or the way in which I would normally approach or do things there wouldn't necessarily work out here. And it sort of
Hmm.
knocked my confidence in a way where certain things weren't going according to plan,
Right.
and I didn't know how to make it work.
Mm,
Yeah. So then I would always have to fall back on that brave face. So I'll put the brave face persona on, but inside I haven't got a clue, and I'm flapping.
mm,
But it was just something that I developed in the military. No matter what, like in the middle of the chaos, when in the middle of whatever is going on, stand firm and
mm.
figure out a way in it. Like you can't let them see you looking shaky or faltering or show any sign of weakness. You have to find a way. Full stop.
Right.
And then I was like, but that is exhausting, or can be. Why can't
Hmm.
I just, if I feel like I can't do it, express that I can't do it, sit down and find a way, as opposed to knowing that I can't do it and going
Hmm.
in and messing it up and making it worse. Does that make sense? So yeah,
Right.
that's where the brave face thing kind of came from, with just acknowledging that there are just some instances where we need to just fold, take the L, and go sit down with the L, which is a loss, turn it into a lesson, and come back again and fix things.
Mm. So where does the mask aspect of it come in at?
Yeah,
What
so
does the
the
mask
mask is
what does that
because, so the
represent?
mask is, yeah, if I'm, I don't know, if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm not with it. Oh, yo, RVJ, Wagwan, everything good? Yeah, man, I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
alright. Yeah, I'm
Right.
doing well. So it's just that it's deflecting as opposed to going into conversation. You understand? That's where the
Mm.
mask comes in. The mask that I am okay. Because on the mask, it has those little quotes. I'm good.
Mm.
I'm okay. Yeah, man, everything good. I'm all right. So those are the little, on the mask, that's all written on it. And that's just what a lot of us do, especially males. We deflect a lot of the times because we have to be the answer and the solution all the time, regardless of what's going on. We can't take a break. There's no rest point. There is no nothing. We have to fix things. So
You
that's where
know,
the mask comes in.
that's dope too. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to take accountability for that exact reason, because they don't want to answer those questions. They don't want to tell people how they're really feeling. And for some people, it could be offsetting. For other people, it could just simply be like, you're just not ready to handle what I'm actually
Tell
about
you
to tell you. Yeah.
that.
Yes. So, but a majority of the people are just like, yeah, I don't know how to express myself, so I'm not going to tell you. Like they're just scared of what someone may say after. But yeah,
Mm,
ultimately, as long as you're one of those, you just gonna have to be ready. You gonna have to know that when I
Yeah,
tell you how I'm really
boy.
feeling, don't look at me crazy, like, because I'm gonna keep on saying it. I'm gonna express myself to the fullest, and yeah, no. So thank you for creating that piece. It definitely sparked something inside of me.
Yeah,
I had to sit down and watch the piece a couple times because I'm like, this is a great question, like.
yeah.
And this is what I love about your work, man. It's very introspective. It makes someone sit down and be like, wait a minute, so
So
you
yeah,
have that effect for sure.
no problem. Yeah, I appreciate it, and part of the reason for that, it's interesting that you talk about the experience side of it because, as I say, I'm 40, 41, and people a lot of the times people look at me and think that yeah, he has nothing to offer. I'm in the setting. I was invited there, but he has nothing to offer. And some of the times it really so initially it really used to upset me because if I'm
Mm,
here, that means even if you think I haven't got anything to offer, let us just have a conversation. Who knows? But
right.
don't they're putting that out there in my face as if their action will not cause a reaction. You know what I mean? But
Mm,
when you thought
right.
about experience, the reason why I can write these poems the way I write them is because I've experienced certain things. And I
Right.
look back at just my life journey or life's journey and look at some of the things that I wish I would have had at certain stages in life.
Mm,
Mainly conversations. And think to myself, yo, I didn't have it, but I had to figure it out. Sometimes I did it in the right way, sometimes I did it in the wrong way. All right, okay, so if I've passed that stage, what can I
mhm,
do to say to those who are there or approaching that here we are going?
mhm.
This is
Right.
potentially something that can happen. This is a one way of dealing with it because this is how I dealt with it. These are other
Mhm.
options or suggestions, but just know this is something that can put. How can I give a little cheat code here and there? You know what I mean?
Right.
So then the cycle doesn't continue. You get me? And I feel like this is one of the things that frustrates me and annoys me. They're real everyday man out here with a wealth of knowledge that
Hmm.
can literally help a generation of youths, and they're not being invited in the conversations because they look a certain way or they work a certain job. You know what I mean? It's
100%.
mad in my mind. It don't make no sense
100%.
because a everyday man that's doing it like every day. I've
Right.
been through it. But they're not being invited because like I said, the stigma is mad out here. It's crazy.
Yo, nah, it's sick, man, for real, honestly. And I hate that too, for real, because it's
Yeah,
like,
man.
yeah, like y'all don't understand the impact that, we can make simply,
Of course.
and but I think that's why it's also important to always, build up our own communities, and try to, I, I don't want to say impose your will. That sounds a little bit abrasive,
Mm.
but like definitely create a household name for, the direction that you want to go in, so to speak.
Yep.
You know, so that segues into my next part.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is probably gonna be the last part. I don't want to keep you too long.
No,
I know you're probably
no,
tired
man.
for sure.
No, man. I'm good.
Um,
This is my time of the night, fam. What do you mean?
I feel you.
No,
I
go
feel
on,
you. I
go on,
feel you.
go
I'm just
on, go
being
on,
considerate. I know
go
you came
on.
off of work. It's 2 a.m. over there. Going on 3. Um, so speaking of community,
Mm.
you started throwing events at Popular Union.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I can easily say that you're becoming a strong force in the poetry community. Um,
Uh, well, I appreciate
I,
that
I, I
still.
I think I think all the work that you're putting in, like this is so going back to the age complex thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone on Threads. It's weird. I'm starting to see a lot of movement on Threads as far as like people posting things and people jumping in to share their introspective thoughts, and it gets them, I guess, the attention that they were looking for
Right.
in a positive way, so to speak. So there was this one chick. She was saying, I think she said she was like 32, going on 33 or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and she felt like she was struggling to figure out her core audience, and she was like battling to like give up. And I shared the piece with her, and I was basically saying like, "Yo, I'm the same age as you. You know what I'm saying? I'm 33. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just now feeling like everything that I was doing is blowing up now.
Making
Like,
sense.
I'm starting to figure out everyone that's like really there supporting the movement. Like it don't matter what it could be like, these people are just there,
Mm-hmm.
so what I've witnessed with you is that you have that effect. And even before you started putting together your own events, I feel like you had the flyer effect. And I picked up on this, through my own experience as well too. So I realized when you're really good, you don't even got to promote a show, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. Like if people see you on the flyer,
Oh,
like their friend
all
may
right. Yeah,
invite them,
yeah.
but they see you, and that may
I,
be their driving force to go.
yeah.
So
They're
and
interested
and
now.
right, and I still deal with that to this day. Like, there's so many
Mm.
times I go to an event just to support someone. I'm like, "You performing?" I'm like, "No," and you can see the disappointment in their face, and I'm just like, "Ah, shit, I just let somebody
Yeah,
down." But so I love that you started putting together your own events, and then when I look at the feedback from the crowd, it's packed,
mm,
and it's not just because, oh, it's a new poetry space, it's the person behind it. Like, you're putting together a dope, like, it's a nice, what's the word I was looking for? Intimate space.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's easily accessible. I feel like people don't got to travel too far out their way if they're like thinking, of the
Mm.
experience outside of the distance.
Yeah.
Obviously being realistic, I know people in London are more time based.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 9 o'clock, they want to be in bed,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
I understand, but for the most part, you put together an experience that people don't really necessarily care about those things. They just come out for the experience. So talk about what that's like. Like what inspired you to start putting together your own events, and what inspired you to run it the way that you do.
Bro, bro. So this, yeah, this for me is a core part of the journey of RVJ. And I say the journey because the first show that I put on was called RVJ Presents Wordplay the Journey.
Mm,
And that was in 2022. So yeah, I just felt like I had a lot to say, and 5 minutes at an open mic. As much as I was grateful for the availability of open mics in London to allow me to hone my craft, like every night if I wanted to go to an open mic, I can find one without a doubt. I was like, I just, when you're fresh or you're new on the scene and you just want to express.
yep.
So I said, yo, you know what? I'm gonna do a show. This was in June 2022, and I don't know if you've ever been to Theatre Peckham, but I rented Theatre Peckham, or I hired Theatre Peckham to do a show as a theatre. My
Mm,
first show. I've been doing it properly for 1 year, and yeah, that was, people came out and supported it. I was actually surprised at the amount of
mm.
people who actually came, but people came, and I was like, all right, I see this, but
How
then
many people would you
as
say it was?
so I actually sold 58 tickets, and I had an additional like 15 people. I think 11 or 15 people, because including performers. Yeah, so
Right.
basically I had 70 odd people in
Mm,
Theatre Peckham. Yeah, over
that's dope.
75 people. Yeah, I didn't think it got to 80. So for my first show, and I was like, yo, all right,
That's sick.
mad, cool. So I was like, after that, I was like, all right, cool. But then, so as good as that was, I also realized the other side of things, which was the expense side, mainly the venue. How
Mm,
expensive venues can be. I know they aren't easily accessible by the poetry community, especially independent poets.
mhm,
And I was like, all right, cool. So I went to That was in June. So I was like, I'm still on a high. So I said, I'm doing this. I'm doing it in Birmingham. So in the August, 2 months after, I went to Birmingham. I linked up a couple of poets in Birmingham. Big up Ryan, Dre Sinclair, big up Darren for Poet,
mm,
big up Shaq. They're Birmingham based. Well, Diaries from Wolverhampton, and then Lay Speaks from London, Salient Voice. Kev came with me from London,
mhm,
and Yeah, I just did a show in Birmingham just because it's poetry, it's
That's dope.
performing. Why not on a Sunday?
That's
And we
dope.
just went. And it was a very small audience.
Mm.
I had a couple friends from school from Jamaica. They live in Birmingham. They
Oh,
came, so that was a big
wow.
deal for me.
That's
You know
dope.
what I mean?
That's
I had
dope.
people who's never been to a poetry event, but they saw it and came through. And like I say, it was a small crowd, but there were people there who came because they were invited or they just stumbled upon it and they were like, "Raw, this is poetry." I was like, "Yep, support the
Right, right,
Birmingham
right.
scene." And then
That's dope.
that was the end of 2022. So end of 2022, I remember I was on a WhatsApp group with just poets and rappers and singers from the poetry scene. And I remember I said to them, "Listen, I wanted to do a third show, but I couldn't do it.
Mm.
Um, based on just availability of venues and finances." So I remember I said to everyone in the group, I was like, "Listen, this is the impact that we say we want to create with poetry. We want to push it. I strongly
Mm.
believe that in order for us to do that, we have to collab." So I remember I broke it down. I was like, because at the time, Theatre Peckham was like, I believe, £219 per hour.
Mm-hmm.
I had it for 3 hours. Um, so you can't do the maths in it. And
Right,
then I said to them, if we're gonna do this, we have to collab, especially when it comes to venues, because we want good venues to show people the levels, not just the performance element, but the aesthetics and the feel. So I was
right.
like, we got a collab. Anyway, that fell on deaf ears. All right, fair enough. It is what it
Mm.
is. I put it out there,
Right,
innit? That was in November of 2022. I remember specifically because I'm just on a high, innit?
right.
Then the February, I did another show called Side by Side with Words, because again,
Mm.
I want to perform for longer than 5 minutes. So I'm talking about 30 minutes sets, 45 minutes.
Right.
So I remember four points. So every show that I put on, I was like, yeah, it's ticketed, yeah, I'm eyeing the venue, but people got to get paid, cause that's another big thing for me. So we'd
Mm.
agree what the price is before or the fee is before, regardless if I sell tickets or not. You know what your payment is gonna be. That's on me, and
Mhm.
that's something I committed to. So we did side by side with Words. I had three poets plus myself. I had Kev doing guitar, live music, and then I did a listening party, and then I did another show in July at
Right,
Poplar,
right.
and that's when Poplar reached out to me to say, "Listen, you're doing poetry. We're planning to start having back regular events post COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
are you interested in running a poetry event here every
Mm-hmm.
week?" And I was like, every week is a bit tight. Every month would
Mm-hmm.
work better based on what the
Mm-hmm.
poetry scene runs in London. And there's like, "Listen, we'll give you free reign to do whatever you want. Just do it." I was like, free reign. Now remember what I said earlier about the stigma. People
Yeah,
see you. And
yeah.
when he said to me, "Give me free reign to do whatever I want," I thought he was winding me up. I thought I was joking. I thought it was a prank
Right.
because he's giving me the space for free
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying, "Free reign, do what you want." I was
This is
like,
Rodney we speaking of?
"Hmm?
This is Rodney?
No, yeah. This is right. Yeah, at
Okay.
Poplar." And I was
Right.
like, "Okay, say no more. Leave it with me." No, you said why I do it the way I do it. So the best concerts I've been to are school concerts back in Jamaica. Big up St. Catherine High
Mm-hmm.
School. Big up St. Catherine Primary School. The
Yeah.
best concerts I've been to are school concerts at school in Jamaica. So I said, I'm always missing home. So I said, how can I recreate something, one of my most favorite moments from home?
Mm.
So everything that you see I do at Poplar or any other event is me trying to recreate the amount of fun I had as a teenager back in school. So when we talk about
Right.
when you see me put up the food, that's just me trying to recreate food from the cookhouse. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? When you
Right.
see me have a DJ there and trying to just play music. When you see Dennis, my brother like that on stage, just giving jokes and engaging with the crowd. When you see the atmosphere is what it is. When you see the beginning of the show, I'm telling people, all right, whatever problem you have, leave that at the door. They'll be there when you finish. This is the break for you to reset, to then go and re-energize, to then go and tackle that. So I'm just trying to recreate something that I had growing up in Jamaica,
That's
here in England.
dope.
And I
That's
think
dope.
it's helped because like you said, I'm surprised. I know I shouldn't be,
Mm.
but when you can visualize something, right, and say this is what you want, this is what you want, this is what you want, but to actually experience it and feel it, it's yeah, it's unmatched. It's unmatched.
100%, 100%. And and I relate to that so much. So first off, let me clarify. You've been successful since you started throwing events. Like you haven't
Oh, in terms
had
of what?
like you outcome. Like like each time you've thrown an event, people popped out. It was always a great time. You never
Oh
really
no,
had
no.
like any.
So no, so yeah, people's always come, but I'll say before. Let me just say this and make this clear so people don't just understand. So let me just side by side with words, Birmingham and London. No, sorry, the journey Birmingham and London side by side with words and your stage, your show did that twice.
Hmm.
Right, so I've done 5 shows that aren't open mic. So these are 5 shows I've put on out of my own pocket. I've
Right.
always fell below the line for so in terms of I've not made a profit or I've not broken even on any of them. But that's
Hmm.
besides the point because I know that I'm investing in my brand. Does that make
Right.
sense?
No, hundred
And
percent.
as a
100.
result, and so like I said, those 5 shows had artists come through and perform. Everyone got paid. Venues hired. But as a result of making that, which I believe is a sacrifice, it's now paying off at Poplar.
Hmm.
Does it make it's balancing out now in terms of
Right.
people coming and supporting. I'm still able to pay headline acts to come through, and then I
Hmm.
can even make sure what they get in terms of funds is more because I'm like, it's a free event, so how can I ensure that people get paid properly? All right, I can cook. Let me cook some food and sell some food then. So me I guarantee say I'm feeding into just the development of something that I love. So it's people see it and think, yo, he's making it happen, but there's sacrifices that has to be made, and because I believe in what I do, because I believe in me, yeah, man, I'm gonna do it.
I feel that. I feel that 100%. Um, and that's always important too. So with me, I've thrown 3 events total.
Mm.
I did one event for my edibles about 2 years ago, and
All
then
right.
I've done 2 concerts this year. Um, but I learned a lot with the edibles event because like it's crazy. Like when I started doing the edibles, I skyrocketed. Like a lot of people, like my community definitely it formed itself. I didn't
Yeah.
have to do too much work. I mean the work was the product. I was like, doing a great job with that. So
Mm-hmm.
when I ended up doing a pop-up shop, I think because I was a one-man band, and I wasn't trying to be. I really tried to find help, but that's the thing with, having a team. A lot of people want to be the star player.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it ruined a lot, but I threw that whole event together by myself. I funded it by myself.
Mm.
I did hire some friends, to do certain things like security, run the table, stuff like that. Um, I showed up at the event 3 hours late. So the
Explain.
person that was supposed to, yeah, I had someone else supposed to come help me out, making some treats and stuff. They were supposed to help me with the treats. They were actually supposed to drive me to and from the event. So because they canceled on me, I had to make a whole extra few batches of stuff, and I had to rent out a car last minute, which cost me way more
Sorry.
than it should have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so from that event, and then, but the thing was, I think it was like maybe about a good 10 people who showed up and actually waited the 3 hours.
Mad.
Like, and I was frustrated because I had to really explain to them, like, yo, I'm sorry I got you waiting, but this
Mm.
happened or whatever. And again, it's my first event, so I'm not looking for
Yeah.
perfection, but I'm feeling good about this. I wanted this
Mm.
to be,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
feedback I was getting. Yeah, so yeah, I learned from that event right there. Like if you're gonna do something, if you're not gonna do it, with a team, if it's gonna be, um, with like a select few amount of people, definitely have a clear vision. You know,
True.
as long as you can secure, let's just say, a venue, and you have a mission of how you want your show to go or whatever the case is, you good.
You
You know what
good.
I'm saying? And you know, like, granted, obviously, whatever you're providing, you know, product, you know, poetry, music, whatever, um, you know, your audience is always going to stick with you. But I think it is interesting when you throw an event and to see the people that do pop out and support. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what really ultimately gets people to keep going for sure.
For real.
Um,
For real.
yeah, no, so that's really, really dope. You know, I love what you're doing for the community, man. And like I said, you're easily becoming a force. You know, I see it. You know, I see it, and I think you'll be doing this for a long time coming, man.
Yeah, man. That's the aim. That's the aim. Because, like I said to you, brother, and it's another thing as well that I want people to understand. Um, People who are watching and want to do something and are very eager and very excited about it and jump on whatever scene, whatever environment. Listen, I remember the reason, oh, this is what I forgot to say, which was the main reason why I started. So there are multiple reasons, but the main reason why I started doing events, brother, is because I reached out to people who are established. So this is the
Mm.
downside to it. But I turned it into a positive. I reached out to people multiple times when I started this thing because I'm like I said, collaboration is it's just an ingredient that I like.
Yep,
And I've
100%.
seen people that have been in this thing, have the experience, have the knowledge. I've reached out to people not asking for favors, just asking if I can help. So when I say, brother, so I'm still waiting on some of them to message me back. But hear that, but hear this, Reef. They will see me face to face and I've got higher RVJ. What's going on? See, you good, Ray, Ray, Ray? And I'm there like this. So now the yard man inside of me wanna act up in it, cause I'm like, are you taking me for an idiot? Like, me
Yeah,
look stupid
right,
to you,
right, right.
but at the same time, I know I have people who look up to me. I know I have people who respect me. So I'm like,
Hmm.
so I just started distancing myself. You understand what I'm saying? High and by, keep it moving. There ain't no conversation because I know you've seen the message.
Hmm.
But like I said to you, people sometimes think that you're coming to take. However, if you have a conversation, then you'll understand that I'm not here to try and take anything. I'm just happy that I'm in a space where I can really flex
Hmm.
in terms of helping. Cool. And I realized I was getting a lot of that. So I said, you know what? Say no more. I'm gonna do what I can do with what I've got and just build on it. And that's the real reason why I started doing events from.
I
I was
feel that.
just sidestepped for no reason. And I believe me, yo, brother, my people, them I'm gonna beg people for nothing. You
You're
understand?
right. 100%.
I don't
100%.
beg. So don't feel like I'm coming out here looking for handouts. I'm asking if I can help. And because I know you've got the experience, I'm saying I can learn from you. But I'm also bringing something to the table. Brother. And these are people that I look up to. And they didn't even reply. Do you know how disheartening that can be as someone that's new to something
Hmm.
and look up to somebody and you've sent them a long message and none, bro.
Mm.
So may I say to the people out there who's got the fire in their belly to do things, do not be disheartened by people who sidestep it that you look up to. You
Exactly.
understand what I say? They can do it, you can do it. You just have to know. You just have to read the room, look at the responses, and then know how to move. And
There's
keep and just do it.
a, that's a very interesting thing you say, and it's crazy because I wanted to ask you that too. And oh man, this is gonna be a loaded one.
Go on
All
then.
right. So, damn, I'm trying to figure out how to put it together now. Okay, so because I wanted to ask this for a while, but we just touched on mad different
Yeah,
topics. So I don't
yeah,
know if
yeah.
you noticed, but this show I do take. I'm starting to take, like, you know, written notes a little bit here and
Yeah.
there now, but mostly it's
Off the top.
based on how I know the person.
Yeah.
So it's easier for the conversation to flow, you know,
Yeah.
for me. So one thing I wanted to speak on was that your poems are usually like a long time, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
a good way though. It's like, again, it's immersive. It's like the longer you're speaking, people fall into it. So my biggest compliment that people give me is not for my looks, it's for my voice. You know, a lot of people tell me I have a nice
Mm-hmm.
voice, so I would say that to you as well.
Right.
You have a very uh um um soothing voice. You know what I'm saying? Like when
People
people
said that.
hear you.
People said that,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? When people hear you, it's just like, okay, I can hear this going on. You can tell a few stories to me, you know? So,
Mm.
um, you you said you covered that part where you said you feel like you have a lot to say, and this is why you started searching for the longer set times.
Mm-hmm.
How how hmm, sorry, give me a second.
Go on.
Um,
Take your time, bro.
how do you I guess prepare for that, you know, because in a sense it's like there are certain times, and I'm not gonna lie, when I go to poetry
Hmm.
events, I don't like when poets have poems and that's just like all over the place and it's like longer than 5 minutes, you know. So how do you stick within the means of your time and, you know, like capture your audience? Like how is that a challenge for you? Like, you know, because not everybody wants to hear the 5 minute poem, but then
Mm.
again, when they hear it and it's good,
Hmm.
they find themselves confused because, like, do I want more or, you know?
They don't know if
So,
they're coming and going. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, how does that work for you?
yeah. That
I'm gonna
one
ask you the
is hard to
second part after this.
yeah, yeah. I think that one is hard in itself to explain. I think that is definitely a gift where it's just all right. So again, growing up, conversations are always something that I crave, and not just meaningless, but meaningful conversations in the sense that let's not leave the conversation hanging. There has to be some sort of conclusion to some extent, even if we have to revisit it, even if there has to be a part two. So let's not leave it dangling. Um, and I think when I write,
Hmm.
someone asked me this the other day if I just write sort of like speaking about other people or is it me? I say you'll always find elements of Rayan in the poem. And I
Hmm.
think that's one of the main reasons why people connect and stay engaged because I heard this the other day and I've never left it alone. So when you write, when you speak from the heart, that you will touch hearts. You understand?
Hmm.
And as much as they may be there, the point may start somewhere that is abstract or is not connected to me. It will eventually have parts of me injected in, intertwined in. So if I'm talking about love, people have experienced that. Whether they want to deny it or not, they have. If you're talking about being upset, people have experienced that. But
Hmm.
am I going to just talk about it abstractly? Or am I going to speak on something that has affected me? Which I
Hmm.
know if it's affected me or if a situation has happened to me, then it might not be the same thing that has happened to you, but there are similarities. So you're going to relate to it. So I think being relatable is part of the reason why people lock in. And the way I'm relatable is because Rayan is a part of the poem. I don't want to be speaking on things that are that are not make believe. Make believe isn't the word I'm looking for. Is sort of I don't want to be covering or cloaking
Hmm.
because poetry is life. Life is poetry. The conversation we're having now is poetry. It's just that
Right.
it's rough. It's like a free ride. You understand? But there's so much themes and topics that we've touched on, or so much that we've said that if we took it and packaged it, it can be poetry. So I want people to connect with my thing because
Hmm.
I really want to talk to you. This is him, especially when a lot of people see me, don't know me, but then assume they do by basically stereotypes and stigmas and all. No, no, no. I'm giving it to you. So you have to relate, you have to connect, you're human.
Hmm. That's a fact.
Yeah, that
Uh,
that's the vibe.
nah, that's a great answer, by the way, too. Thank you for that. So the second half of that,
Mm,
while you up there shining and sharing your story and you realize that people are, you know, being, you know, they're gravitating towards your vibes and stuff like that, do you feel a sense of like gatekeeping or animosity around you? This comes from the whole thing of like, you know, leading into wanting to throw your own events
mm-hmm.
and, you know, because you talked about, you know, speaking to the higher ups or like the people that you thought were like, you know, more connected.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about the people that you felt like were on the same level as you know, because I personally don't see myself above anybody. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is great in their own way, you know, but I realized, like I'm good at a lot of stuff, and some people want to be good at a lot of stuff too, but they don't push themselves for it. Yet
Yeah,
they're mad at you
yeah,
for doing it.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
how does that work for you? Because again, like I said, a lot of people gravitate towards you. I've seen it with my own eyes. So how does that work? Like, I know obviously you don't work for that.
Mhm.
You're not a attention seeker.
Definitely not that. Definitely not that. But no, I've seen no people. So there's a saying in Jamaica that we say "dopey," which means ghost. Yeah, dopey know who for frightening it. Like,
Yeah.
or there's another one that we said they say green lizard know which tree to climb up.
Mm,
Brother, there's no what. I don't care who wants to have any animosity, or I don't care who don't want to mess with me like that.
mm,
It's all good. If you keep it over there, then it's not. Like I say, I'm not an attention seeker, and I know how to ignore. I'm aware.
mm.
I'm aware. Like I say, I'm always observing, but I know how to ignore. So gatekeeping, brother, we kick off gates. We jump over gate. Like I'm from Jamaica. This is what we do.
That's the
We
lifestyle
listen,
word.
yeah, we don't necessarily go through the gate. I'm asking anyone from Jamaica. Our parents used to cuss us, beat us for not going through the gate. We jump the gate, fam. So, and that's real
Yeah.
life. So imagine now someone over here
Mm,
see me
mm,
doing what I'm doing because I love what I'm doing
mm,
and
mm,
be upset about that. Yeah, that's for them to deal with, them and God. I'm not interested. Take it to the Lord in prayer because here what? I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I'm
mhm.
not gonna stop helping the people who I can assist. And those who wanna offer me guidance, I'll take that. So may I say, freeway. So anybody else who have a problem with me and the way I do things, like I said, good luck because
Right.
boy, it's only gonna get, like you said, it's only gonna get bigger. As long as I've got breath in this body. And you know what's mad? You know what's mad? I was thinking today, because I remember big up Salient Voice, she performed at Royal Albert Hall on Sunday fam.
You mentioned
Fourth
her a lot, and I've noticed because I follow her as well too. She's really making moves, so I
bro,
love that you guys have
silently
a
as well.
connection and
It's
stuff. Yeah,
mad.
yo, for
That's my
real.
people.
I haven't seen her pop out that much while I was there lately as well too. So she's been
That's
really, occupied. So I love that.
and 4,000 plus people fam. She's performed in front of.
Yeah, I saw the footage from that. I saw her post that, and I was like, yo, that's sick. Like,
Sick.
yo.
And it got me thinking because she did a bit of movement with her poetry, and it's something that
Mhm,
she got introduced over the past year. And yeah, I remember saying when I started this journey, if
mhm,
y'all ever make me get comfortable in this poetry thing, you lot, it's game over in it because when I'm comfortable, I'm gonna be having fun. I'm sorry for
mhm.
you lot. When I was in
Right, yeah,
Jamaica,
it's over.
or even when I came here from Jamaica and I
Mm,
left the army and started going back to church, I was choreographing full dance.
mm,
Something that as a teenage male in Jamaica, you hardly see. It happens, but you hardly see choreographing a full dance, gospel music. And I did it here
mm.
in my late 20s, early 30s. Full dance. No, it's not something that people on the party scene would know. But
Right.
Sunday, I thought to myself, yo, I must start doing that again as part of my performance. I'm gonna take all my so I started singing slightly again because I used to sing as well as a teenager.
Hmm.
So I've started singing slightly again, and I'm gonna incorporate more of that in my poetry.
Hmm.
Movement is something that I'm gonna add. So yeah, man, those out there who are gatekeeping and don't like for whatever reason, if they think they've got an issue now, wait,
Right,
because there's
right,
more to come,
right.
fam. And that's the only
Yeah.
way I can do it.
Nah,
It's
I
it's
love
it's
it.
easier for me to use the energy to do what I'm doing and enjoy it as opposed to address someone who feels like they should try and obstruct me for some reason or anybody else.
Yeah,
It's
fact.
not.
I
It's
feel that.
wasted energy. It's
It,
wasted energy, and
no,
I've
for real, man. It's
yeah,
you the one losing sleep. So hey, um,
precisely, fam.
yeah,
But
yeah.
again, it's not something like I said that comes with age, that comes with time, that comes with experience. Because, like I said, a couple of years ago, I'm a very like I said, I'm very observant, but like everyone has a limit in it. So there's some I like to address things. and not
Mm.
publicly as well. I'd rather, if you know you have a problem with me, because a lot of people like to make a lot of noise publicly just for the
Mm.
attention. I'm not on that. I'll wait until you're alone, and then we can
Mm.
address it. Because all right, because the people feed off other people's energy, innit? You know what it's like. So,
Yeah.
and that's also why I'm no, because I know I'm that type of person. I have to change a lot of what I do because, like I said, believe me, there are few people on this scene who looks up to me a lot,
Hmm.
and it's mutual. And I don't want to I don't want to disappoint myself, but I don't want to disappoint them either by just
Hmm.
acting out of character for when there are other ways to do things. So yeah, man, if I just act right, I'm a dad as well. So man, if I
Hmm.
just do the right thing and not be drawn out by useless energy. You understand? So that's just
100%.
where it
Yeah.
is.
That's a big fact. Um, one more thing that I do want to touch on
Yeah,
before we close this up. Making content. I realize that that's not a very easy thing to do.
bro.
But it's something that you're definitely exceeding at. From what I've been watching. See, it's weird because I have this thing where I try not to be on social media too
Yeah.
much, but I've also started like unfollowing a lot of unnecessary accounts, and by doing so, I started discovering other people's work. So now when I'm on social media, I'm scrolling through and I'm looking at people's stuff. I might even go to their page and start
Mm-hmm.
watching a whole bunch of their stuff. And another reason for that being is because I started to think like we follow all these people, but who do we actually check out? Like, what are we following them for?
True.
You know, and that goes even for me too. Like I had like at one point on my last account, I had 2,700 followers.
Mm.
And all organic, by the way. I don't believe in paying for nothing. I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, I don't know
um,
that.
yeah, so I thought about it like, damn, I know about 2,000 out of this 2,700, but I don't know much about them. So with this new account, I was able to like really clock who's following me, and I was able to like really tap in and like observe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you go about making your content and keeping it relevant for your audience?
I'm still a newbie as far as that is concerned.
Mm.
Um, Still learning. It's
Do you
interesting that.
edit your stuff or you just
So I've started. Not yeah, I've always done it, but I'm getting better at it. If that makes sense. The video. So the video that you see, mask on. So I've actually paid a videographer to film it, and he
okay?
sent me the full thing. But then the clips that you see, I did the
Got
clips.
it, got it, got it.
Yeah, I did the clips. I chopped that up and do the caption or
That's
whatever.
dope. You did a great
Use
job with
I
that.
Yeah, bless up, bless up. But cap cutting it. I just decided. So I literally decided to invest in
Yeah,
that and just got the
yeah,
pro package. I just messed about with it on my laptop and
yeah.
yeah, because so when I say I'm a newbie, I've decided to the editing thing is time consuming, bro. It's
You think so?
very, yeah, man. It's for me, it's time consuming. So
Right.
I've decided to. When was it? Monday. I was off Monday, and I decided to spend the whole day doing that
Mhm.
because I'm not well versed as far as it goes with editing, innit? It's not my bag, so it's gonna take me longer than someone who knows what they're doing, type of thing. But I'm committed to doing visuals because, like I said, I've got 30 tracks on
Mm.
streaming platforms, so I know I've got the audio. I know need to commit to getting quality visuals to match that, and that's what I'm committed to coming next year. So I'm
Mm.
learning, but I've also know that I'm going to invest again. So this is where my next big investments
Mm.
are going in, is the video, doing videos on my poems,
Mm.
getting them done with high quality, someone who knows what they're doing with a camera, and yeah, just start working on the YouTube page so people can actually go and see, because I've got a lot of ideas in my head with the videos that I want to do.
Right, right,
So I'm like, all
right,
right,
right.
time to start rolling them out. So yeah, I'm a newbie as far as the content is concerned. I'm still learning. I'm watching other people. It's funny that you said that you've been deleting people because last night, no, day before yesterday and yesterday,
Yeah,
I've been deleting a few accounts as well.
you
It's
have
crazy
to.
that you said
You
that. It's mad
have
because
to,
yeah, I
bro.
started because I looked at the list, least interactions. I think that's something like it. And I'm looking, I was like, who are
Yeah.
these people? I've never looked at their, all right, cool, boom, boom, boom. I've got to, because I want to see the people I'm interested in. I want to see what they're doing. I want to see what I can learn from, because there's a reason why I clicked on their page and follow them. And especially the ones where I've got, so if you go into like the message bit, I've noticed if you're following someone and they're not following you, you can know, innit?
Yep.
Yeah, fam.
It says it. It
Yeah,
says it. Yep.
fam.
Exactly.
Unfollow.
So those are the
What?
first people to go. Those are the first people to go. If I realize
I'm
you're
like,
not even following me, get
why
out of
am I
here.
even here?
Yeah.
But
Those are the first ones to go.
but then you have people who will literally, you remember, you go through the list and you remember someone from an event, and they follow you and they were like really interested and really, yeah. I make an effort to interact with those people as much
Yep.
as I can, because those people are genuine supporters.
Yes. 100%.
They didn't have to, but they did. They not only followed you, but they came and they spoke to you. Like
Hmm.
that for me is priceless, because like I say, it's initially, bro, people didn't used to come and speak to me. People would
Hmm.
want to come and talk to me though, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't. And I'm like,
Right.
but it's got better, and we give thanks, because like me I say, it helps, innit? It really, really helps. So people, don't put us on a pedestal. Come and talk to us. We actually want to interact with y'all when we write about something.
Mhm.
We want to know if you agree, you disagree, if you're in the middle, because it's the conversations for me that spark the creativity.
That's a fact, and I always make it my point, whether it's before I perform or after I perform, I always make it a point to tell people like, yo, I'm very approachable. Come and speak to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, like I want you to know that it's okay to have a conversation, like you can do
Wow.
that. That's what the music is
100.
for.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, no, that's dope that you're starting to be aware of your audience and it's weird, with social media, but it's interesting still because you get to really see who's actually doing it with a
mm,
purpose.
mm.
So I think that's real beautiful that you're starting to figure that out as well. I think
Yeah.
that's dope that you're getting into the content and editing it for yourself. Because it, like, aside from time consuming, I'll agree with you, it is. But for me, I feel like, all right, so I've been doing editing for a really, really long time, and not even just
Right.
visually. I started off with video games, what I'm saying, like created players.
All right. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
even if you want to go even deeper than that, my mom used to always get me a coloring book for Christmas. Like, like that was just her go-to gift,
Yeah, yeah.
a coloring book. So, like I've always been good with like coloring and placement. Like my favorite thing with coloring was the color by numbers. So I've
Oh,
always,
the one. Mm.
yeah, so I've always been good with like placing things and stuff like that. So a lot of the content that I've been not a lot, all of the content that I've been posting, I've filmed.
Um,
I mean, unless you would see like some extra HD or you see like a watermark on it,
mhm.
then you'll know that it came from like someone at the show, like a photographer or something like that. But for the most part,
It's you.
I try to, do my own content. And for me, that came from, I guess, going to shows and like I wanted to build like a visual documentary of my journey, and there's a lot of shows that I don't have footage from simply because I
Right.
couldn't get no one to record. So it started from there, and I used to just at one point, like I would post like the whole 30-minute set.
Mm.
But, like at the time I had like stage fright and stuff like that. So you would see me on stage fumbling, like trying to speak and stuff. So I started, learning, like how to start posting the best clips,
Right, right.
and from there, then it started to be like, okay, now we can do, different angles. Now we can do different settings, stuff like that. So it became something that I really enjoyed doing. I've never liked the manipulative aspect of it to where, some people can't see the rawness of it. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I think that's the creativity. It's like, what are you going to do with the
It's-
pieces, that you're going to
Yeah.
use?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So definitely perception, definitely perception. Bless you. So it's really interesting editing for me. I have a lot of fun with it. Trust me, there's times where it takes me actually this reel that I'm about to release on Friday. It took me a
Hmm.
whole 10 hours to do that.
See?
Yeah.
I can't, bro.
It's a-
Yeah, it's
but
long.
I had a free day, like so I was like, all right, and
If you got
I
if you
think
got the time, if you got the time, go for it. But at this point in time, I haven't got the time. And I think for me, if it was a case where, so my job is shift work, as you can see. Sometimes I'm late, sometimes I'm early, sometimes I'm in the middle. So
mm,
because, and then with just doing the events and then cooking, the prepping for the cooking itself, the cleanup after, like they have to prioritize it. And at the minute, the editing gets the least of my time. So yeah, eventually something, because I like to see the end product in it. I really
Mhm.
do like to see the end product. I'm interested in how you can play with different things. Because when I watch YouTube videos and see how people do things like that, yo, it'd be dope to be able to do that. So
Yeah,
it will happen, but at the time I haven't got it. At this point in time, I haven't got the capacity for it.
I feel that.
Yeah, so
I feel that.
yeah, but soon and very soon. But it's dope that you edit all your stuff and actually enjoy it. Yeah, that's a good look still.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, for the music videos, when I started doing, I am gonna move to a point now where the music videos that I start doing, starting next year, I'm going
Mm,
to be co-directing and possibly co-editing them as well.
mad.
But my aim is to work with a couple videographers that I've been a fan of lately, and just not so much to just put money in their pocket. I mean,
Mm,
that's the ultimate goal, but I definitely want to, obviously give them the platform and show the world, what they can do. So.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll see me collaborate with a bunch of videographers, but for the most part, you'll also see my name in the credits more often on the creative
Yeah, that's a good
standpoint.
look still. That's a
Um,
good look.
yeah, yeah, appreciate that. So yeah, man, it's been really, really dope having you, man. I really appreciate you making the time. You know,
Yeah.
you 5 hours apart, man, so and you made it happen. So I really
No, man,
appreciate that.
light work, fam. That's light work. That's like I
I
said, I would have been
I
up
mean, you and
anyway.
I know that, but like to the people watching, they don't understand, like it takes a while to get stuff like this to happen, like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I would have just met you yesterday, I don't think you would have been, you'd be like, man, I'm going to sleep. Like,
For
so
real, yeah, for real. Oh, one more thing as well. So, like I said to you, I was gonna try and slide back through this year. So yeah, I'm gonna be over there for the last 2 weeks of November. Still, I must slide. Yeah, I'm but this time I'm so because the last time I was on the way to Jamaica, and so I only spent 3 days. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks from the 17th to the 30th, the first or something like that, December. But this time I'm trying to jump on the scene. I have
I
to.
I got a spot that I could take you for sure.
I have
I
to.
got a dope
That's
spot
right.
that would really, I got a spot that would really love to have you. So I'm glad that you
Yeah,
told me that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
glad you told me
yeah.
that. Just give me the specific. You said the 17th to 30th, so
I'll
I'm gonna
send. I'll
mark
message
that.
you in it. I'll message
Yeah,
you. I'll
yeah,
message you in it because I've definitely you got. I got to link you up when I get there. But I'm just so I'm giving you the heads up in it, so you know that man's
100%.
gonna slide through. Yeah, man, because I haven't performed outside of the UK yet. My
I
ultimate, like
got
my
you,
the
man.
one
I
thing I
got
want to
you.
do is perform in Jamaica for real, for real. I haven't done that yet, but God's willing next year. But this November, if I make it there, I've got a touch stage in New York, hundred
I
percent.
got you, man. I got you. Just keep me posted, and I'll make sure it happens. And that's right around the time where where there's a special open mic that I like to go to. So yeah, you'll have a lot of fun there. Actually, this it's called One Love One Mic. So I'm
Yeah,
sure you've met Roz
yeah,
Felicia.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so she recently featured there, and she works closely with the host. Also,
Mm,
Woodsy made a appearance, I think, like 2 months ago, which was it shocked the hell out of me because I didn't expect to see him like pop up
mm,
like that. Like I've never seen Woodsy in New York, but then
yeah.
to see him on the flyer, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. So I didn't get to make it to that show to actually meet him in person, like to see him and speak to him, but we did chop it up online and stuff. But I'll bring you. That's the spot right there. One Love, One Mic. It's a
All
very
right,
dope
say no
space.
more.
Yeah,
Say
I'll
no
send you a
more.
clip from my page to where I featured on there,
Mm-hmm.
so you get to see like the vibes and stuff.
Cool.
So my last thing is, I usually ask anyone to leave any type of gems, anything you want to share with the people watching, the young people, the older people, poetry community, anything you want to leave out there?
Well, first and foremost, whatever you do, have fun with it. If you're not having fun, then yeah, it's gonna be a burden, and you're gonna probably want to not do it, or you're gonna bring a sort of energy in the space that you enjoy, that will affect others, an energy that will affect others and the environment. So, have fun with it. Find a way to have fun with it because that's when you'll blossom. That's my main ingredient, first and foremost. Secondly, is creativity, and you are different by default. So why would you not embrace it? We're all different, right? So
Right.
embrace that and revel in your difference. because the only way you are going to blossom is after you've deep dived in that in who you are. You're different by default, so embrace that. I have fun with it, man. Everything else will fall in place. That is literally it.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Thank you, man, for sharing that 100%, man. And once again, thank you for stopping by, man.
No,
It's
man.
been a dope
Thank you for
episode.
shouting me, man. Thank you for shouting me. It's been fun.
No
Conversations.
doubt, man.
You can't go wrong with them. You get me?
No doubt. I'm working on making this an in-person experience, so there will be a part two. We will
Yeah.
be in person the next time that, I bring you online. So
Look forward
look
to
forward
that.
to it.
Look
Yeah, yeah,
forward to that.
appreciate that.
You get
Thank
me?
you, man.
All right. Big
Good
up
night,
yourself, Reef.
morning.
You don't know.
No
Manners and
doubt.
respect from UK, London, Jamaican. Say that. You don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you,
All right.
brother.
Have a good one. Yeah.
You too, man.
All right. Bless.
Yeah, you got to exit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. That brings this episode to an end. Um, as you can see, always got dope guests, great personalities, always loaded answers to the questions, so um next week we got some really dope people stopping by. I got two dope guests that I would like to introduce to you guys. So I'll be making the announcement. What's today? Wednesday. Sorry, damn. I'm in Wednesday. I'm already ahead into next week. All right, so I'll announce Saturday's guest tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in. I'll definitely be throwing out the notification, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace.